Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm live and I'm hoping you're going to be able to join me live too because I love watching you type your comments. I'm going to be looking over this way because that's where another monitor is where I can read your comments and see who's joining me. But I'm just going to keep talking while I wait. Well, wait or not wait, depending on whoever shows up. I'm freezing, so I've got my little scarf on here that I learned how to knit many years ago. It looks like a feather boa, doesn't it? But it's not. Anyway, for those of you who just found my channel for the very first time, welcome. My goal is to save you time and money by giving you the inside scoop on filmmaking quality and content so you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a particular film. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Last Breath. This is a very dramatic thriller based on a true story that is now playing in theaters as well as simultaneously available on Fandango at home. And by the way, you can click on the link description below and that'll take you to, I can't remember if it's a free trial or a discount on Fandango at home. And you can see a bunch of other stuff down in that description. So the film is rated PG-13. It's an hour and 33 minutes. And I thought it was a really well done film. My overall movie review mom grade is a B. So first I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like. I'll offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, and we'll finish up with recommendations for other films that are very similar that I think you might also really like, especially if you like this one. Now, this one came out just the very end of February, so I'm still trying to catch up, and I think this movie flew under the radar for a lot of people, and so that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention. So in a nutshell, there is a Netflix documentary about this exact same story by the exact same director that came out in 2019. It's also called Last Breath. This is the feature film version of that true story, and it follows the seasoned deep sea divers as they battle the raging ocean during a storm to rescue their crew member who is trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface with minutes left of oxygen. It is very tense, and you're just so scared and nervous about this person who's trapped under there waiting for rescue. The film was directed by Alex Parkinson. Writing credits go to Mitchell LaFortune and David Brooks, and the director pitched in. So quick tips for parents. I think young kids are going to be either bored because it's a lot of adults talking, or they might be scared because a lot of it takes place under the water, which makes me always hold my breath, which can be scary. And then, of course, there's talk of death and danger and all of that. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are courage, teamwork, miracles, and how they can still happen today. And there were many elements of this true life story that people still don't understand. How did that happen? And which I think is fascinating. Other themes are survival, quick thinking, persistence, and hope, of course. So here's the long list of things I really liked about this film. First of all, the casting is great. Woody Harrelson really looks a lot like the real life man that he plays in the story. And of course, he provides the star power that the film needs to drive more interest and eyeballs to it. The rest of the cast also does a really great job. It includes Simu Liu, Finn Cole, Cliff Curtis, among others. Gorgeous cinematography. We get to see, the land before we get to the water. Then we see the ship on the ocean in the storm, and I don't even know how they film that. And then we go under the water, and I don't even know how underwater films are even made. It's just amazing to me. I mean, when you go that deep and all that. It is fascinating to learn about the incredibly dangerous job of saturation deep sea diving and everything that the crews go through on a daily basis to maintain the undersea gas lines in the North Sea. I mean, as I'm speaking, there are probably people out there right now risking their lives to ensure that we have what we need to make our lives comfortable. We just don't think about those people as often as we should, and we should praise them as heroes because that's what they are. In the movie, we see real underwater drone footage of the rescue, which is pretty amazing. Once the divers go in the water, you feel that tension until the very end of the movie. You're just like, the effective, oh, I got a sneeze coming on. Hopefully I don't have to sneeze. Okay. Here's a little trick. If you put pressure on between your nose and your upper lip, that usually can stop a sneeze. So that's what I did. And it worked. Okay, yay. The effective sound effects really take you there. I mean, above and below the water, they're very well done. You can hear the expansion, you can hear the pressure of the ocean pushing against what they call the tin cup, all of that. The crew on the ship exchange friendly barbs, which provides some humor to break up the serious drama. The film is pretty straightforward, and because it's a true story, there aren't a bunch of twists and turns. When the movie was over, I was like, oh, okay, that was a very straightforward telling. There are other rescue movies where in real life there were twists and turns, not to dismiss how difficult this was, the rescue itself. Now, on to the list of things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done better or differently. First of all, if you get seasick watching ocean movies like I do, you might want to skip this one. A few times I had to look away because the camera is kind of rocking, because you're on a ship during a storm. And so I'm like, so I would have to look away. But it's not like crazy, and you're getting tossed and turned or anything like that, but just a heads up. As I mentioned, the film is very straightforward and it seemed very simple. And because of that, I think it felt kind of short. It's best to not watch the trailer or look up any information about the true story so that you can be surprised, so that you can feel that tension. If you already know how it ends, you're going to be like, okay, whatever. But I didn't know anything about it. And so I'm like, what's happening? What's going to happen? And that makes it much more entertaining. I don't know if I should say watching, someone, in this horrible situation be entertaining, but the filmmaking itself was well done and entertaining and keeps you on the edge of your seat. All right. So normally I write down funny lines and interesting lines, but I didn't write down anything. There wasn't anything super noteworthy. Even though now that I'm thinking about it, Woody Harrelson has the best lines, and he often said things that made me chuckle. But I guess I was so engaged with the film, I didn't even write them down. But in other reviews, you'll see me do that. But I do want to recommend 3 films that I instantly thought of. In fact, as this movie began, I thought, wow, this is almost scene for scene exactly the way the movie Deepwater Horizon starts, if you've seen that one. And I just rewatched it again a couple of months ago with my husband. And, he hadn't seen it, I guess. So I'm like, well, let's watch it. It's a good movie with now I've drawn a blank on the names of the stars. But anyway, it's got a great cast and they did a really great job. And it is based on a true story, which is mind-boggling. Another beautiful movie that is just a tearjerker and full of tension and it'll make you hold your breath is called The Finest Hours, also based on a true story at sea, and some rescue and drama and danger and ocean. And I just thought it was so good and so well done. And it stars Chris Pine, and I just loved his character in this. And then another one, also based on a true story, is called The Guardian, starring Kevin Costner. That one came out in 2006. And again, rescue at sea, drama, ocean, crazy, true story. So definitely check those out. And again, you can click on the description below and I have links that'll take you either directly to my review or to Amazon where you can rent it or purchase it or whatnot. All right, that's my review. I'm trying to talk faster and cut these shorter. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I will catch you in the next. Oh, wait, before I go, I should see, did anybody leave a comment? Nope, no comments. All right, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. Oh.